The NBA draft is about 5 weeks away, and the NBA Combine in Chicago just wrapped up. And on today's show, we are going to take a look at the biggest winners and the biggest losers from this past week in Chicago for the Combine. I am Nic Rohloff. This is NBA Now, and we're continuing to roll out more NBA content on our main Chat Sports channel. But if you want even more, show my bosses that people love the NBA content, specifically around the draft, by hitting that thumbs up icon. Goal is 300 likes. We get 300 likes, and we'll have another video coming out this week on a mock draft from yours truly. All right, the first winner that we're going to talk about here, we got 4 winners, 4 losers. Now, these are not the only 8 players, but I did want to highlight these 4. We're going to start with Thomas Sorber, the center from Georgetown, who just measured in at a tremendous size. He came in at 6'9" in height. He is built like an ox at 262.8 pounds, and his wingspan checked all of the boxes, 7'6". The reason why he's such a large winner, without hesitation, in my opinion. Listen, Sorber was a 50-50 guy coming into the draft. He dealt with a foot injury late in the year at Georgetown, which forced him to only play about 24 games this past season. And you always get questions about lower body injuries with centers, especially young centers. And when you're coming in and there was height concerns, I mean, he's not a 7-footer, right? He came in 6'9" without shoes, which isn't terrible, which means he's 6'10" and change with shoes. But if he had short arms, well, then is there really a way he can be a lockdown center for you? Or is he going to have to be a 4? And if he's a 4, well, then he's got to be able to space the floor and shoot the ball. But that 7'6" wingspan, just a ridiculous positive wingspan to his height ratio, that locks him in as a center because that will play. In the standing reach of 9'1", it works. And not even just talking about his size, when you watch his tape, he is so explosive, so quick off of the floor, where you combine that with his size profile, and now we're talking about a player that is legitimately a franchise center type of guy. He's got a similar size profile to Andre Drummond, similar height, similar weight, similar wingspan, but he is better defensively than Drummond. And I think his work ethic is better than Andre Drummond's too. Not that I'm saying Drummond didn't work hard, it's just that there's a lot to be left desired for with Drummond and his defensive ability. Sorber, just a ridiculous defensive athlete, a chess piece, can move out to the perimeter, pick up guards and switches, can play and drop. You play in any system. Sorber, to me, solidified himself as a top 20 pick in the NBA draft with that height and wingspan ratio. Loser, Collin Murray-Boyles, the forward from South Carolina. And this one's heartbreaking, man, because I love Murray-Boyles, one of the most versatile defensive players in this class. He's been kind of comped to Draymond Green, not in terms of his ability, in terms of his ceiling. Like, we're talking about a multi-time depoy, a Hall of Fame lock in Draymond Green, but the size similarities are there. Came in a little bit shorter than what people were hoping for, 6'6.5" without shoes. Now the wingspan and everything else plays out relatively solid, but another reason why he is just a firm loser is that he came in slightly shorter than expected, and he had a disaster of a week shooting the basketball. And that has been a major concern for him throughout this process, at least to me. I still think he's a top 20 guy, but to me, I just have so much questions about his offensive fit. Like, he'll fit anywhere defensively, but if he is not surrounded by 4 shooters, because he's not a center at the next level, and if your center can't space the floor, then I don't really think you can play Murray-Boyles alongside a non-floor spacing center. Like, he shot 7 of 25 on spot-up opportunities at the Combine, shot 10 of 25 in the star three-point drill, which is just one of the worst metrics that you've seen from his position at the Combine. Also, though misses weren't close, folks, he was airballing. He was barely hitting front iron. If you were a Murray-Boyles truther, you were hoping to see a good shot, at least better than what he displayed this past week in Chicago. And with that poor shooting display and a little bit shorter, some teams might kind of take him off their boards because I don't know if he fits on their individual roster. Tough week for Collin Murray-Boyles if you were wanting him inside the top 10. Let me know, who is the biggest NBA Combine winner? We got a couple more players we're going to discuss. I would not label Sorber as the biggest winner, but let me know your thoughts down below. I think this was the biggest winner, if I'm going to be honest. All the buzz coming out of Chicago was Cedric Coward, the guard/forward from Washington State, who just had ridiculous measurables. A player, by the way, that only played in 6 games last season, transferred to Duke in the portal, but obviously declared for the draft, keeping college eligibility, and is currently committed to Duke. So if he doesn't go to the draft, he will be a Blue Devil replacing Cooper Flagg next year. And his measurables are insane. 6'5" and a quarter without shoes, 7'2" and a quarter wingspan. I mean, that's just a ridiculous plus wingspan there. He's got a solid frame to him. He is rising up boards. Like, I thought coming into the combine, 50-50. Could go back to the college, could go to the draft, depending on what he's hearing. I think he's a lock for the top 25 now. And I'll be honest, he's continuing to kind of make a trajectory up to the lottery in a potential. And I think it's all going to be dependent on fit. I love his mindset, by the way. When talking Coward, he sat down and spoke with Kevin O'Connor from Yahoo Sports on the Kevin O'Connor podcast, and I just could not get enough listening to that. It was an unbelievable listen. Spoke about his mindset, his skill set, how he thinks he could be a secondary ball handler, but knows he needs to improve there. He likes to watch a lot of Jalen Williams from the Oklahoma City Thunder, which I believe is a great kind of comp for him with his size and blend of speed and able to create. Like, Coward is going to be a great player in a pick in the top 20, 25. I will say, I think it would be better if he went to a team that had multiple draft picks. Like, if you are a team that needs a contributing piece now, I don't know if Coward's your guy, but if you have the ability to wait 1-2 seasons and let him develop a little bit, oh my, this would be a home run pick. A loser, Jace Richardson, the freshman guard from Michigan State. I've never been the highest on Richardson, if I'm going to be honest. I never really knew what his fit was going to be in the NBA. Played a lot of off-ball, came off the bench for Tom Izzo Spartans for most of the season. Did average about 16, 17 points per game final month and a half of the season. But when he measured at the combine, those concerns that I had just raised even more. 6'1.5" with no shoes. Not good. And I'll say this, he was labeled at 6'3" when you look at Michigan State's website. If you're 6'3", I mean, that just tells me you're 6 foot nowadays. Now, the wingspan's good, a +6 wingspan, that plays. But the height is a concern for me, especially when I don't believe that he is a true on-ball guard that is a lead guard. Like, I'm talking, if you're going to be that short, I don't know if you could play off ball. Now, we've seen a little bit with Andrew Nembhard for the Pacers, but he isn't that short. He's a couple inches taller than 6 foot. Like, if you are that big in terms of your height, I think you got to be the lead point guard for your team. And I have the same concerns for Tahad Pettiford from Auburn, who came in at the same height and wingspan kind of ratio as well. But Pettiford's way more dynamic of a scorer and a ball handler than Richardson. I like Jace Richardson's shot. It's good high arcing. Like, he knows how to play off ball. Like, that's a positive. But is he going to be able to do that consistently at the NBA level at that size? I'm not sure. I think Jace coming in shorter than what people hoped for, a little bit of a tough situation for him. If he came in at 6'1.5", I think we'd be having a different story here. But 6 foot, ooh, not great for Jace Richardson. 2 more winners, 2 more losers on deck, but got to give a major winner to Prize Picks, a daily fantasy sports platform that I play every single day. And with the playoffs almost coming to an end in basketball, don't miss on your last chance to add your favorite players from the court to your Prize Picks lineup, whether it's points, rebounds, assists. Take your pick of more or less for your shot to win up to 2,000 times your cash today. And you can turn your playoff hot takes into tickets to basketball's championship series. Every lineup you make on Prize Picks will enter you into the Takes to Ticket sweepstakes, which could get you and a +1 a VIP trip to the ship. It's so easy to play. All you do is pick more or less on a few player stats, and you can win up to 2,000 times your money today. I have an entry for a series. Yeah, Knicks Pacers. You can play daily, you can play season long, you can play series long. How about that, folks? So much versatility in Prize Picks. I got more than Miles Turner points per game in the series, more than Halliburton assists per game, and then less than Karl Anthony Towns rebounds per game in that series. 3-player entry. potentially win 5 times my money. But like I mentioned, the way you customize, you could be up to 2,000 times your cash today. Join me, download the app, and use code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. Run your game. Another winner here. We're going to go to BYU's guard, Egor Demin. And boy, oh boy, is it feel good to be someone who had a lot of stock in Aigor Demen prior to the NBA Combine. He came in way bigger than I thought he was going to be. He was listed at 6'9" at BYU. Well, he measured in at 6'8" and a quarter without shoes, which means when he's wearing those nice little shoes in the NBA, he'll be closer to 6'10". True lead ball handler. Now, the wingspan isn't great, but, I mean, we're really splitting hairs here when you're that tall as a point guard. I'm not going to get that upset about it because you're already long with an 9.5 standing reach. Like, he is a lock for the lottery now. And that wasn't something thought of before the Combine because, yes, people knew that he had this height, he had this playmaking, this feel as an on-ball creator, but you just didn't see him play consistent level at a high level, let's say, at BYU last season. Got benched sometimes late in games for Dallin Hall, the veteran guard for the Cougars. But his three-point shot, which is a major concern, 27% shooter last year, just his form is so good, though. And I always wondered, like, why is he not shooting good? Well, he lit it up at the Combine, and then when he ran through some personal drills and a personal pro day, if you will, in front of some scouts, he lit it up then too. The buzz around the draft and in league circles is that he has locked himself in the lottery. You just don't see many guards with his playmaking feel at 6'9", 6'10", and with his ability to grow offensively as a finisher and as a shooter. One team is going to fall in love with him like I have and his potential. Do I think he could come in and be a contributing piece on a title team first couple of years in the league? No, probably not. Might take him a while. But you see players like a Josh Giddey, a Denny Advia, those lengthy guards and ball creators. I mean, it's just so opportunistic. I am willing to take the shot on Aigor Demen, and I feel like it's pretty confident right now that he's going to be a top 14 pick when it's all said and done in late June. Make sure you are subscribed, not only for daily content when it comes to the sports world, but we are so diverse. NBA, NFL, college football, drafts, free agency. We go live for big events as well. Subscribe now, turn on notifications so you never miss a piece of our content here at Chat Sports. Loser, Janai Broom, the forward/center from Auburn. By the way, I'm fascinated. If you look at the NBA Combine website, it lists Janai Broom as a small forward, power forward. That is not the case. He is a power forward center. There's not a world where he plays small forward at the next level. But why is he loser? Well, he had an embarrassing vertical, and he kind of went viral for the video that got put online. I feel bad for him because he wasn't even the worst vertical at the Combine. Derek Queen, someone that I'm high on, a lottery projected center from Maryland. He had a worse standing and max vertical than Janai Broom. But, I mean, the numbers are pretty brutal. Max vert, 28 inches, tied for last with Derek Queen. His standing vert, 24.5 inches, which was fifth worst among centers and forwards at the Combine. Like, I don't want to rag on the guy because he got the raw end of the deal by that video, not even getting to the, whatever they call it, the things you got to hit, the sticks. He couldn't even get there. I mean, that's not great based off his height. But he's not, like, an athletic dude. Like, no one thought he was an athlete. Like, people knew that he was good at the college level because he was crafty and he was intentional with his shot fakes and his footwork. I still think Janai Broom could be a solid rotational off-the-bench big, but when you see the vertical video, you see the numbers, it's not something to be that proud of. Loser for sure, Janai Broom. No longer someone I would consider taking in the first round, I will say. I had him as a fringe first, second round guy. I think firm early 15 picks of the second round is where Broom ultimately lands. On the flip side, a center from Stanford, Maxime Raynaud, the big man, who was the second best player in the ACC last year, wasn't talked about enough because of Cooper Flagg. But if you remove Flagg from the ACC, Raynaud, yeah, he's going to win ACC Player of the Year. Really good size, 7 foot and a quarter without shoes, which he's a true 7'1", 7'2" with shoes on. Wingspan isn't crazy, but the standing reach will absolutely play. He displayed his athleticism, he displayed creation, he displayed three-point shooting, and he performed in one combine game. Played 25 minutes, dominated, 20 points, 9 boards, shot extremely efficient in that game, and then shut it down. It was like, yeah, I did everything that I would want to show in this first combine game, tested well in agility drills and vertical drills and the shooting drills, and said, yeah, I'm good. I left everything on the floor. I'm not going to play in a second one. Now, to play devil's advocate here, because I like to not just try to act like everything's all good in the world, he was going against Ulbrich and Ruzick, two centers that I don't think really have an NBA future at the combine. So little bit of a lack of competitive back and forth action in that one combine game he played. But right now, someone who is getting a lot of late first round buzz, maybe even late teens. I think the 20s, maybe early 30s is where he ultimately lands. But boy, oh boy, a floor spacing big man that's got some athleticism to him. Definitely a winner this past week. Final player we're going to discuss on today's show, Ace Bailey, the forward from Rutgers. And the reason why I label him as a loser is because nothing that he did bad, but he just came in a little bit shorter than I think we expected. He was listed at 6'10" on Rutgers last season. He labeled at 6'7.5" in terms of without shoes, so he's probably playing at 6'9". It's not the most egregious thing, but here's my question when it comes to Ace Bailey. What is his role in the next level? Because many people compared him to a Michael Porter Jr., a Jabari Smith in terms of his size profile, where he came in way shorter. MPJ and Jabari Smith are both a firm 6'10" without shoes. Ace Bailey's not that. Bailey played the 4 at Rutgers. That's not his role. Like, to me, he's a 3. He's a wing. He's not a floor spacing 4 at all. That's not him. He needs to add weight as well, only 203 pounds. But, like, I think that needs to be something that is known. I feel like most people think he could play the 3 or 4. I think it would be a disaster if he had to play the 4 in the NBA because he's not able to defend it. He's not that good of he's not a rim protector. Now, does he have the ability and potential to be a nice wing defender? Yes, but he's not someone that could bang inside with the big men by any stretch of the imagination. So he came in a little bit shorter than expected. I'm curious to see where he ultimately goes. I know a lot of people are going to say 3rd to the Sixers. Who knows if Philly keeps that pick. I still am going to pound the table for VJ Edgecombe to be the pick there for Philly if they keep it. I think he fits better and is much more of a Daryl Morey guy than Ace Bailey is, but we'll ultimately see. And as I mentioned, we're going to be live for the NBA draft June 25th, June 26th. That'll be live on the channel. So hit that sub button for weekly NBA content around the draft, around free agency, but also for those big-time moments, free agency, the draft will be live. Join the channel today.